please use our hashtag Baila and Celebra to share your thoughts and connect with us after our panel. And we'll get started. We'll show you our quick agenda here. To kick things off, we'll do a quick intro to our panel and a sneak peek at what's in store. Our speakers will share their hot takes on how Latin and Hispanic culture is making waves in the anime world. And we'll take a look at the history behind anime across Latin America. We'll also tackle the big questions, challenges, opportunities, and everything in between. But we're also shouting out today. So we're going to be celebrating standout Latino contributions and achievements in the anime community. And if we have time, we will do a Q&A. So let's get started. Everyone meet your presenters. Sailor Ecstasy has been a New York City-based cosplayer for over 19 years, y'all. Favorite fandoms such as Sailor Moon, My Hero Academia, DC Comics, and superheroes. When she is not hosting panels or in a photo shoot, I know, we love it. She's also a special education teacher in working with high school students. She also teaches her 13-year-old son, now 13, God bless.
I have a teenager.
Woo! Who doesn't love anime per se, but he loves to be his mom in Smash Brothers. Sailor Ecstasy is a passionate Black Latina cosplayer who is always down to represent her Latina side. Yo soy Boricua. Next, let's welcome Yaya. She is a Mexican-American cosplayer who loves to present her culture through her cosplays. Yaya started cosplaying in 2018, wow, welcome, and is passionate about seeing more Latino and POC representation in the anime community. Next is Foxtail, who is also Boricua born and raised from the Bronx. She's a CEO and professional athlete, but always a nerd first. Fox was first introduced to comics and anime as a child with things like Goku and Sailor Moon that first inspired her fighting career. In high school, Fox was most empowered by the intense fighting scenes in Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach. Now cosplaying over 7 years, she loves to build armor and weapons. Welcome. EJ, aka Brandon Boricua, is also a Puerto Rican cosplayer from New Jersey who grew up watching anime from a young age. Starting with the classics such as Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, that's my accent, Pokemon, and etc. He has since branched off into being a fan of many different animes and genres. Some examples of these would be Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Attack on Titan, Fear and Beyond Journey's End, and My Dress Up Darling. EJ is a fan of all forms of art and their history. And being that Latino representation in anime is so rare, he often finds himself drawn to such characters and how their conceptions came to be. Welcome! And I'm your host. I will be standing behind this podium. My name is Mooney Puffs. I'm a Puerto Rican and Dominican creator and a cosplayer who has been active in this community since 2014. I'm known for my creativity, my passion for cosplay, including a little 13 Nights of Halloween challenge where I do a daily challenge leading up to Halloween. Personally, I love the Otaku community. It's what keeps me alive today and going. I do things as a maid, a host club, and as you see here, as a panelist. But what drives me the most, I feel like it's connecting with y'all. So in addition to cosplaying, I'm also a K-pop girly, okay. So I do a little bit of covers here and there, but honestly, my work in the convention and tech space has really brought me the tools that I needed to bring all these lovely people here. So let's give them up for them. Again, we're going to get straight into it, so let's spill the cafecito. Our speakers are going to share their hot takes on how Latin and Hispanic culture is making waves in the anime world. So let's start off with EJ.
So, starting off
Starting our presentation, I wanted to talk a bit about the history of
We adapt.
how anime came to Latin America and Latin Spanish-speaking countries, because it's honestly a really fascinating story. So as I'm sure many of you know, Spanish dubbing is now a very big prominent part of the dubbing scene. How that started was with a man named Emilio Azcarraca Milmo. He was the Televisa president during the 1970s, and he was looking for, series to broadcast on TV. Now the problem was that at the time, Mexico didn't have its own local animation department. Like there was no animation studios in Mexico at the time, and importing things like Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes, Yogi Bear, and all those classic cartoons at the time was extremely expensive. So he found an alternative in Japan, and in doing so, for cheap, he imported Japanese anime, like Dragon Ball Z, Ranma 1/2, etc. Lots of the classic series I'm sure many of you all have grown up with. And at the time, unlike other nations and like dubbing scenes, the Latin anime scene was very true to the original art. As I'm sure many of you know, in English dubbing, especially in the past, there was a lot of censorship, there was a lot of localization. At the time, on the other hand, in Latin America, they did not censor any of the core original elements of the series. So for example, one of the most notorious things is in Sailor Moon. I'm forgetting which two sailors.
They're not cousins, no son primos.
At the time, Latin America retained those elements, so that was just one of the many appeals of anime in Latin America. And of course, this blew up. Anime became huge and widely prominent throughout Latin American households. Obviously, anime was aired in other countries, Argentina, Venezuela, etc. And eventually, so I want to talk about why anime resonated so much with Latin America. At the time, again, it was first Televisa, but Japan was looking to outsource a lot of it, or export a lot of what it had to offer, and of course one of those things was anime. So one of the big companies that took a look into Latin America was Baila, as I'm sure many of you all know, is responsible for Dragon Ball, One Piece, etc. And they made a partnership with another broadcasting company named TV Azteca. And this led to sort of a, what should we call it? I guess, I don't know.
A discovery?
Yeah, discovery, a little fighting arc between Televisa and TV Azteca, where they were now fighting to import as much as they can and have the best anime to offer as opposed to the other broadcasting company. Bandai offered TV Azteca the rights to air Saint Seiya for free. And another series similarly that was broadcasted for free was Dragon Ball. And as I'm sure you all know, in Latin America, Dragon Ball is very prominent. There are even arguments that Dragon Ball is more popular in Latin America, and especially in Mexico, than it is in its native country of Japan.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we all have seen
I also
notorious videos and photos of just crowds celebrating Goku Day. Absolutely.
Especially, rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. After his passing, there are videos of millions of people across Latin America, mourning him and celebrating his life.
I heard that the gangs actually stopped fighting to celebrate that man's life. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely true. They actually took a day of observance. It was something that I'd never even seen. I mean, there's so many things going on in the world. You would imagine they would sit down for once, pero it was Goku. It was Saiyan.
How to broker peace with Mexico? Just give him some Dragon Ball.
I mean, Goku is basically Mexico's savior. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of, I'm sure we're going to get more into this later, but a lot of Latin content creators make a lot of stuff with Dragon Ball. I'm sure many of you have heard of Ground Bakugo, aka Jose Estrada.
I met him. I love him.
Sweetheart, I love him.
Such a sweetheart.
He's he's a Mexican creator known for his Dragon Ball impressions. But getting back to this, anime in Latin America, as we've been discussing, has resonated ridiculously throughout every country in Latin America. Now, why you might ask? There's a lot of things like we talked about before. Accessibility was one thing. It allowed, anime was imported for cheap. It was broadcasted across TV, and the important thing that I mentioned before was that it was free. Certain animes, unlike how for certain shows and broadcastings you have to pay for cable, unlike those, Dragon Ball Z, Saint Seiya, they were aired for free for anyone. So anyone of any economic class in Latin America could watch anime.
I remember growing up, like Saint Seiya was literally my first Spanish anime. Like that was it.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball was my first English, but Saint Seiya was my first Spanish. And then we have Voto Mercado, Con Amor, and the whole astrology. So Saint Seiya holds a deep like heart for me.
Yeah. Saturday morning cartoons were in Latino dub. They were not in English for me. So I completely agree with you. Like Saint Seiya was what connected me.
Yeah.
And then, as you mentioned, I learned about Sailor Moon Latino. If you ever taken the time to look up the Instagram profile Sailor Moon Latino, so if you didn't grow up with that Latino dub version of Sailor Moon, you can rewatch it through their lens. One of the things that I, just to piggyback off of you, is the generational impact and the community that builds. I'm someone, like many other Latinos, that come from social economical constraints. So if it's free, it's for me. If it's free, it's for me. So having these programs available to us is really what not only brought awareness, but what built for generations to come. So thank you so much, EJ. And then we're going to go over to a special segment, starting with our lovely Sailor Ecstasy.
So for those who don't know, I am a high school teacher. I teach in a predominantly Hispanic high school out in Bushwick. So I'm like very privileged to be around so many different Hispanic cultures. Especially I have migrant children also that are still my students. And I'm very blessed to have them in my life. Matter of fact, they're the ones who are teaching me more Spanish. So I'm starting to feel a bit more confident in my Spanish. In any case, I had asked my students a series of questions. I've asked 3 of them because even though it's summer break, they won't leave me alone and they text me every day and they want to make sure that I'm alive and I'm coming back to work in September. So if you're going to sit here and send me reels, right? If you're going to sit there and send me reels, you're going to answer these questions for me. So I asked them a series. I asked 3 of my students 4 questions. How does being a Hispanic shape the way you connect with anime characters or stories? Do you see a parallel between Hispanic culture themes in anime, like family traditions and resilience? Have you ever felt like anime helped you explore your identity as a Hispanic person in new ways? And do you think communities are inclusive to Hispanic fans? Why or why not? So I got some really good answers from these wonderful babies, and I'm going to just share them with you. So for the answer to the first question, I really like what the student has said. He said, what other cultures might see as dramatic or a little bit too much at times, 8 out of 10, is closer to Hispanic everyday life than you would expect. And then I love the quote at the end where he says, you can't control the way you're born, no matter how much you try to fit in with people. Sometimes you gotta learn how to live life however you were born. And I love the fact that this is one of my rising seniors, so he's about to leave me, and I'm about to start crying already at this panel. He's my Dominican baby, and I love him. This is my Dominican baby, and I love him so much. I have like 5 Dominican sons. No, seriously, they all call me mom. They come to me and they tell me about their life. And then the next question I have for number 2, I had a student say, family is very important. So the rest of the family. Family is very important. Like in Hispanic culture, we always stick together. And in anime, you see that they're all the time. For example, characters protecting their siblings or respecting traditions, as well as staying as a team. Also, resilience is big. a lot of anime characters get knocked down, but never stay down, just like how we do. And I love this. This is one of my rising 11th graders who has said this to me, and again, big, heavy, and he's a big anime fan. We're both big into Dandadan right now, so literally after we watch an episode, we text each other oh my god, did you see that? Something like this, right? And then for the third question, I said, have you ever felt like anime helped you explore your identity as a Hispanic person in new ways? And I just love what he said. He said that anime made me think more about respecting where I come from. Japanese culture in anime shows pride and traditions. It makes me appreciate Dominican culture more. It's like, if they can hype up their food, their music and customs, then why can't I be proud of mine? Listen, baby, listen. And these are my students, and I taught them, and I'm like, this makes me so happy. Last one, it's not on the slide, but I'm going to read it to you. This is, what do you think about anime communities inclusive of Hispanic fans? Why or why not? And then my student has said, I believe so. Although I have only watched one that really connects with the Hispanic culture, and I think this is what he was talking about, cyberpunk. And he's the one who told me that David, I think is his name?
He's Dominican!
Yes! I was like,
thank you.
Yeah, I was like, that's why I told him to put it on the slide. I was like, are you kidding me? Let me look this up. He said, now you have to watch it. So now I have to watch it. He said some cuss words in Dominican. I said, he's teaching me the bad words. I'm like, oh, good job, baby.
There you go.
I love you so much.
I kind of like it the way how he swears.
By the way,
accent.
I was just joking. It's not Canada. He's putting
We can be both. I exist.
Exactly.
Hey, I exist too. It's all good. I exist too.
He said, I'm pretty sure there's more anime creators that have Hispanic community in mind in some parts of their projects. And then I also want to read one last one. There another student, she's also a rising 11th grader. She says, honestly, yes, that anime communities are inclusive of Hispanic fans. She says, anybody who's Hispanic or is a cosplayer or watches anime, I only know a few people who do watch anime or are super into it. And then she added on, what she told me was that she'd never seen more Hispanic cosplayers, so I immediately sent her Yaya's Instagram page. I was like, now you have somebody to look up to because you're Mexican, she's Mexican, and I need you to go and follow her immediately. And so she's like, oh my God, she's amazing. I was like, I know. So in the end, pretty much, just to wrap up, these are my students. I see them watching anime while they're supposed to be doing my lessons in class. I said, listen, you can finish watching Jujutsu Kaisen, but I need you to finish this essay first, right? Finish the essay, then go back to anime. But I have to say, through the connections that I've made with my students over the years, they know I'm heavy into anime, they know I'm heavy into cosplay, they're the ones who always constantly hype me up. We finally get to dress up for Halloween, and I'm just so excited. He came in dressed as a character from Jujutsu Kaisen, and he made sure to come find me so I can make sure that he looked good. And I was like, yes, baby, you did it. And he says, can we do Overlord or Momo? I said, I got you. So for Halloween this year, I'm dressing up as Momo. He's going to be Overlord. I'm just like, okay, we'll do that. That's not a problem. But I'm very blessed to be a part of the community, and like I said, they are teaching me more and more. I'm feeling more confident in speaking more Spanish. I understand it, I can read it. I also tell them to slow down because they're Dominican. I'm like, I need you to slow it down a little bit, please.
I'm lowering.
Right.
I got a cheap for you. Just go. See, también.
But for the most part, I'm very blessed to be part of the culture, and I want to continue growing with them, and they continue growing with me.
Thank you so much. When Celebra brought this idea up, I lit up like a Christmas tree because honestly, with respect to their privacy, we didn't take photos and videos to capture their responses, but I've definitely resonated with not only all of them, but especially that number 2, where family is very important. I mean, family is drilled into me in terms of moral and traditional values, and how many times do we have to sacrifice, do things outside of our control. I'm first generation, what that means is that I was helping my mom read and translate her citizenship at 5 years old, I was helping her gain her citizenship. So absolutely, when it comes to sacrifices, it made me cry too.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah, they say it takes a village. My
Yes.
mother grew up and always told me that we all had to chip in somehow, some way. Even if you were young, old, you had a responsibility.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And like I said, I love that they're teaching me and I'm teaching them. And one thing, last thing I wanted to add about this is the first year I was. If you're from New York City, New York State Regents, are you aware of those? Yeah. Well, my students had to, like, some of my Spanish students wrote in Spanish, and I was able to read and grade, and I was like, it's the first time in forever. So I'm so grateful. So like I said, I'm always learning. I'm still not comfortable 100% speaking, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Give it up for you though. That's awesome. And that's such a great segue over to how we are making waves in anime as Latin and Hispanic culture. Quick question. Does anyone know the difference between being Latino and Hispanic? Yeah? Okay, great. I will be happy to give you a refresher. So being Latino means that you come from a Latin American country or continent, and being Hispanic means that you come from a country that speaks Spanish. So being Hispanic, you're coming from places like Spain. Being Latino, you're coming from places like Argentina, Colombia, Venezuela. ¿En habla español allá? Hispano. Hispano. So you would be considered Hispanic because you don't come from Latin America, but you come from a country that speaks Spanish.
That was colonized.
Yeah. That's gonna be featured next year. But I wanted to take a moment to just like refresh everyone the differences, because we will be using those words interchangeably because we all are united. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, we all speak the same language, and one way or another we all connect the same. So I would have Yaya, please, if you can go ahead and read how Latin Hispanic culture is making waves in anime.
Absolutely. So cultural representation, increasing the presence of Latinx characters such as in One Piece with Luffy, which is said to be Brazilian by creator, Oda.
It's okay, we have accents. It's okay.
To add to that, we also have Inaki, who's Mexican. So. Musical influence, Spanish and Latin inspired music such as the flamenco style guitar in Bleach and Sailor Moon's soundtrack. Artistic style. So we have anime like
Megalobox.
That was a tongue twister for me. I was like, Megalobox.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Showcases aesthetic elements inspired by Latino culture and community impact, growing Latinx anime fan base leading to targeted content and diverse storytelling.
So let's dive deep. We're going to be tackling some questions, address some challenges and opportunities, and stereotypes. What are some of the challenges Latino fans and creators face in the anime industry, and what opportunities exist to overcome these barriers? Please, any one of you, speak from the heart. What does it mean to you?
So, on the topic of stereotypes and representation, obviously, of course, over the years, media has gotten a lot better at differentiating the two. And even then, at times, like, it can be hard, especially as a fan, when you are seeking out those that representation, that sometimes you might even like accept stereotypes. You know, like for example, especially in the past when it was very limited. Speedy Gonzalez, many know, is pretty commonly considered like a very stereotypical Mexican character, but at the same time, he's become very much beloved throughout Latin America and amongst Latinos. I mean, he's still iconic to this day. But again, like it goes to show how important representation is and how much we've evolved, where we can sort of find characters that represent us without having to accept stereotypes, you know. And as a creator, it's a fine, especially, you know, a creator coming from another country that isn't like familiar with our culture. It's a fine line to walk, you know. It's especially when there's like language barriers, cultural barriers. It's not easy to create a character, like create a perfect representation, you know. So there's always going to be a level of nuance between stereotype and representation. But that's why we have to make our voices heard so that those distinctions can be made.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I can't imagine how many times a creator will be hit with an idea of make them sexy, make them lazy, make them stupid. But we're beyond those ridiculous stereotypes. And what if we saw ourselves in those slices of life, animes and comics and manga? What if we saw ourselves in a more positive stereotype than necessarily a negative one? What's a positive stereotype? Thank you. Yes, hardworking.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see someone going through the hardships as being the matriarch, you know, being the leader of their family that might not necessarily be that matriarch. I would love to see that more so than maybe Excel Saga. I don't know if anyone knows that one. But Pedro, unfortunately, one of the tropes that he does have is that he's always crying to get back to his wife. I mean, come on. He's hardworking, but he's crying to get back to his wife. And how do these stereotypes and microaggressions, within geek culture and otaku communities affect Latino fans?
I wouldn't really think that they would have to accept it, like, oh, that's pretty funny, everything like that, but we shouldn't accept it, right? Like, we shouldn't think that it is something that we should be, something that they think is funny, or like, oh, just accept it. It just puts you in a negative light, right? I think we should definitely, more of the Japanese artists and manga creators should look and do the research, kind of like how the creator of Bleach, he did his research, as also I looked up, that the reason why Japan uses some Latino or Latin language in the animes because Japanese and Spanish are kind of easier to it's like easier. This is why I kind of I've been watching anime since I was 4 back in 1983. So
Calling stuff out.
I really am.
That's all good.
Old and I'm tired.
We're represented.
But watching the anime for a long time, I kind of understand Japanese as well as me understanding Spanish at the same time. Like the creator, he made Chad. Chad is half Mexican, half Japanese, and he doesn't show the typical Latino stereotype. He's big, he's tall, and I'm glad now the voice actor, the original voice actor, he was I believe he was white, and he stepped down. He said, I should not be playing this role because it's not meant for me. And I love that. So now the English voice actor is now somebody of I won't say Hispanic descent.
Spanish speaking.
Yes, thank you. I'm tired. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's all good.
Long story short, I don't think we should accept stereotypes. I think we should start calling them out. The sexy Latina, the slow, lazy worker wearing a sombrero and sleeping in the middle of the street. I want to piggyback. Slowpoke Rodriguez. I don't know if y'all know who that's Speedy Gonzalez's cousin, right? It was Speedy Gonzalez and Slowpoke Rodriguez. That's what I grew up on, right? And they make fun of them. And I'm just I'm gonna leave this upstairs. Anyway, going up, right? So long story short, we should not accept it. We should definitely call out creators. And if anything, just like with Black creators, I think there should be Hispanic creators making their own thing. And right? They definitely should. Just like how we are starting to make our own stuff, Hispanic creators should also make their own stuff as well.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I feel like it's missing what makes us great. We are such diverse people. Every single person, everyone here has their own different stories. Doesn't matter where you're from. Even if you're in the same country, same pueblo, you still have something that makes you unique and worthwhile to share. And those common stereotypes, yes, I'll show them here and I'll showcase them really quickly. They might be portrayed as gang members, they might be criminals, or just comedic sidekicks, but we're so much more than that. And I challenge you to look out for that. So the next time you see an anime, or you read a manga, or you even read a comic, and you see these negative stereotypes, question why, and question to the creator. And I'll go ahead and take a quick moment for y'all to just take a quick Snapchat if you want, some call to actions. So again, you want to support, you want to challenge, you want to advocate, and celebrate us as unidos. And what that looks like is we're encouraging creators who portray Latino and Afro-Latino characters authentically and respectfully. We share and promote works that offer diverse and accurate depictions. We also are going to be speaking out against stereotypes and misrepresentation. You have to, please, I implore you, combat those harmful cliches or biases. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to see it generations per come. And advocate for those roles. So speak up, share with your friends. You're like, oh, did you see so-and-so? I love Bleach. Why? Because it shows me the espadas. I didn't even know what espada was until I started watching it.
And espada means sword, I know that, yay.
Absolutely. And
what I loved about it, the creator that made the espadas, he was inspired by watching novelas for wanting to make those characters, and he wanted to show strength and evilness, but like in pure strength, not some sidekick, not something. He wanted to show that united in evil, but unite. They can have their own world, but in strength.
I love how one of the bancas is Los Lobos. I said, those wolves. Yay, look at me!
oh my goodness, what a segue. So let's take a moment to shout out and celebrate, because this isn't just a heavy learning-based opportunity for you to come and grow, but we also want to take a moment to celebrate incredible Latino contributions and achievements around the anime world. So, el ritmo en anime, la fusion de culturas. Reggaeton and anime might thrive on rhythm, but both creativity and storytelling resonate across cultures. Anime heightens emotion by blending music and imagery, while reggaeton's infectious beats and daring lyrics drive a global movement of self-expression. Artists like Rosalía, Ozuna, Young Miko, Yanni, and Bad Bunny showcase this fusion, drawing on striking aesthetics, fantasy, and lyrical nods to iconic characters. Together, they may demonstrate how these two mediums break boundaries, uplift identity, and unite communities worldwide. And Tiana's data. Has anyone took a moment to check out his album? Fire, fuego. But in all seriousness, anime and reggaeton have been both experienced significant international growth and recognition in the last few years. And there's no greater example than his album. The fascinating album actually features not only progressive synths that you might not typically associate with reggaeton, but it also features artwork by, forgive me, perdón, Hiromasa Ugara. Uga? Or, perdón. Who is also known as the critically acclaimed art director of Ghost in the Shell. I'm actually going to play just a quick snippet of the beginning of Lo Siento. Has anyone heard this song before? You're gonna know.
Oh, hell yeah, let's go.
Oh, I'm not playing. It's playing? Alright, great.
No copyright laws in
Can
this
you hear the sound though?
releasing this music.
Gracias.
It's just like the animation of that music video is what they're trying to present. It's universal.
No estaba esperando nada de encontrarme contigo anoche. Solo era uno más, una noche linda, algo especial. Pero algo está tan diferente, todo alrededor me gira de repente. Tu bicho cambió, es singular, sin miedo, papito, ven y dame más. Ven sin miedo, sin barullo, no te sientas.
And I also wanted to take a moment to highlight Tuxedo Mask OST because I'm sorry, I'm a big movie fan, as you can tell. And in this 90s OST by Takanori Arisawa, it's heavily influenced by jazzy synths, and it's most notably features calypso and Latin music influences. So let's play that a little bit. Can you hear it? Can you tell?
Yep.
Very inspired.
This is equivalent of like wearing glasses all the time. If you think about it. Live action version. Is this supposed to be a live action show?
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
If you've never seen the live action Sazon, you really should.
And then I'll take your DMs. You can tell me your commentaries. You can play by play. I'd be happy to hear your thoughts on that.
If you watch the live action version, like they kind of knew how it would be, and so it's like, oh, it's actually kind of.
And then again, we want to take a moment to highlight, and what's really new and exciting is going to be the new Aztec Batman. Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So we just got a huge win in getting the Aztec Batman, which is going to be coming out soon. And I think it's just a huge win in general because this is showing that our cultures belong on the global stage. And we don't get this a lot. So it's really awesome to see that they're finally seeing that this is something that people are interested in. Like, this is a market that, not just like a market for that, but like, there's so many people that don't have their stories that are shown, and this is an opportunity to show it, and I think it's huge because I think one of the things that we always get when we make a character and it's a little bit different or we dress up as like a popular character is like, oh, well, that's not canon because they're male. Well, you know what? It's canon today, and you know what? Aztec Batman shows us that it is canon. Whatever we want to put on a character, it's canon now. As long as it resonates with us, it doesn't really matter what other people say. And I'm putting that to showing it to the world now.
Absolutely, on a global scale. Like, I mean, it really does signify that there's no. It doesn't have to be a white character. It doesn't have to be a black character. It doesn't have to be a Latino character. But it would be nice to see us, right? It would be nice to see who we are as people. I would be happy to see a Latino superhero, even a Latino villain. Like, oh my God, imagine if Joker. What?
Trying to choke Persona 5? That's the only
I'm
color
not
I
gonna
know.
lie, you brought up comics, so it's like, I mean, the first Puerto Rican superhero was introduced in Daredevil, I guess, kind of this season, but they didn't really do much justice with White Tiger. But White Tiger was the first Puerto Rican comic book superhero in Marvel. And that is powerful, like, just for us as Caribbean Latinos. Like, we have just as much indigenous in us that people won't like to recognize, but we do.
Absolutely.
I would say a fun fact for those of you who don't know, any DC fans, Bane, Batman,
Yeah.
Batman's
Batman.
rogue gallery.
Yep.
The prison that he was born in is considered to be within the Caribbean. It's like a fictional island within the Caribbean, and it's often associated with Cuba.
And I want to take a moment to just do a quick fandom and community shout out. So I do see some cosplayers here. First show of hands. Who is Latino or Hispano? Beautiful, beautiful. Welcome.
Let's go.
I want to take a moment to just, on the far right hand, that's going to be called Latino Heritage segment. Megan is actually a Puerto Rican cosplayer and educator who's proud to present her heritage, and she's currently running the Latino Heritage segment of Cosplay Runway. So if you're interested in showcasing your heritage-specific cosplays, she will be running that runway next month. So please feel free to take a quick snap of that, or check her out at Megsy's 925 if you would love to be a part of that. We want to showcase you. I know that the majority of us are Puerto Ricanos, but I would love to see some Colombians, some Argentinos, even from Spain, because we love our friends. We love our friends. I want to see everybody here, not just myself, not just my Boricuas. And that's such a great way for you to join. And I also want to shout out the Boricua verse. Again, who has been notably making waves in United representing Puerto Rican cosplayers and content creators. And they paved the way for Latin communities. I believe there's 2 new ones as well, the Celebra verse and the Hispanic verse. Yes. Latin American cosplayers over here as well representing. And, I just want to say, we love to see it. We love to see our people. And if you yourself, you may not be Puerto Rican, you may not be Dominican, but if you want to see your brethren, I challenge you to create that community. They're waiting for you. I would be happy to help champion it. We're here to help out each other. And lastly, there are some notable cosplayers and creators like Goku Argentino and Yanya herself that proudly bring beloved characters to life. I mean, look at the glee on those children's faces. Like, that's what representation really means. Like, just seeing yourself in that. I myself, when I grew up and I first fell in love with Sailor Moon, I fell in love with Sailor Mars. Why? Because spirituality, I mean, yes, fuego, claro, fuego. But like, she had long black hair, I had long black hair, I have family values, I have obligations, and I just saw myself in that, and that's what really brings it together. And again, I want to take a moment, go ahead, take a picture if you want. These are some great anime recommendations that feature not only Latino characters, but also Latino-themed animes. Captain Tsubasa is one of the first animes to gain massive popularity in the 80s and 90s in Latin America. It inspired generations of soccer fans and even real-life players. Its themes of teamwork, perseverance, and passion for football resonate deeply within the Latino culture. And also, most notably, that's pretty new, is also Seis Hermanos. I mean, has anybody watched Seis Hermanos? Yeah. Wonderful. So we know that it's set in 1970s Mexico. Ooh, okay, we have 1 minute left. This is just what happens. Like, we just love it here. Please, I recommend that if you can, share feedback with AnimeNYC. Let them know that we definitely need more than just 45 minutes. But please take a moment to take a screenshot of the anime recommendations. And if you haven't already, another shot for the call to action, support and challenge. I recommend that if you hear Spanish-speaking content creators, even in Artist Alley, ask them where they're from. And gracias.